I went to bed like any other night. Peaceful. Normal. But when I opened my front door the next morning, I found myself staring at a 6-foot-tall fence made of cheap, pressure-treated wood, cemented straight across my driveway. Like some kind of wooden middle finger. I couldn't get my truck out. I couldn't even walk around it without stomping through my neighbor's petunias. And slapped dead center on this monstrosity was a bright orange notice from the Hickory Pines HOA. Unauthorized surface materials. Community visual disruption. Access restriction enacted. My hands didn't shake from fear. No, they shook from the sheer stupidity of it all. Here's the kicker. I don't even live in the HOA. Never have. But my land wraps around their subdivision like a donut around a hole. The only road in and out of their picture-perfect little neighborhood? It runs straight through my property. Yep, I own it. 3 weeks earlier, I had re-graveled my driveway with crushed obsidian stone. It drained well, looked sharp, and didn't cost a small fortune like the HOA-approved designer gravel. But again, I don't live in their world of matching shutters and passive-aggressive yard signs. Still, someone thought it was their job to gate me in. So I walked down to their clubhouse to get answers. That's where I met Becca Wainwright. Blonde bob, pink pantsuit, and a mug that literally said, Queen of the Cul-de-sac. She didn't even flinch when I asked about the fence. Just flipped a clipboard and said, You were warned. 3 violations. The board voted to install a visual barrier. A visual barrier? I asked. You mean a prison wall? Becca gave me the kind of smirk that made me want to check my wallet. You live adjacent to the community, she said. That makes you subject to secondary compliance. Secondary compliance, I repeated. That's not a real thing. It is now, she said, sipping smugly from her cup. I left before I said something that would get me arrested. Instead, I called the sheriff. Deputy James showed up. Good guy. I knew him from town parades. When he saw the fence, his eyebrows launched halfway up his forehead. They really blocked you in. Over gravel? But then Becca came out waving her revised maps and a fake community emergency declaration. James sighed and said it was a civil matter. If I wanted it down, I'd need to sue. She grinned at me behind her sunglasses and walked off like she just baked cookies instead of fencing me in like a zoo exhibit. But that's when I remembered something. A piece of family history everyone else had forgotten. Back in the 90s, my dad bought a weird little sliver of land, an old farm road. The developer needed a shortcut and sold him permanent easement rights. That road? The only road into Hickory Pines? Yeah, that's the one. I sprinted to the basement, tore open my dad's filing cabinet, and there it was. A deed, notarized, sealed, and crystal clear. My dad owned the road, and I inherited it. They hadn't trapped me in. They trapped themselves out. The next morning, I installed cameras, posted no trespassing signs, and dropped a cease and desist letter into Becca's manicured hands right in front of her yoga group. I said, and I quote, I own the road your future drives on. She didn't laugh this time. Her silence over the next few days was louder than a marching band. But then came the next phase. She sent a zoning officer, a guy named Zeke, with slicked-back hair and Ray-Bans, claiming my mailbox was too tall and my porch lights were polluting the sky. It didn't take long to figure out Zeke was her puppet. So I set traps, discreet security cams hidden in birdhouses and fake rocks. And 2 nights later, bingo. Footage of Becca and Zeke sneaking around like budget burglars. The next morning, I handed the footage to my lawyer and to a local news station that lives for HOA drama. The headline: HOA President and County Inspector Caught in Midnight Compliance Scam. It went viral, like national viral. Neighbors turned on her. One guy even apologized and said, "We didn't vote for this." Turns out, she was acting alone. No board approval, just power tripping. The next HOA meeting was explosive. I showed up early, brought receipts, original deed, digital copies, printed maps, a mug that said, "Property owner, not your pawn." When I told the board I owned the only road in or out, you could hear the mental light bulbs flick on. Becca tried to laugh it off until I showed them the $187,000 invoice for unpaid access fees. Symbolic? Sure. But it hit hard. That night, someone, definitely not me, took a sledgehammer to the fence. No note, no apology. Just a clear driveway, sparkling like sweet, sweet revenge. But Becca wasn't done. Oh no. She sent more fake violations, so I recorded everything. The breaking point? Footage of her bribing Zeke with a manila envelope and whispering behind my hedges. My lawyer took the case straight to court. Becca showed up in a neck brace and sunglasses like she was auditioning for daytime TV. Her lawsuit? Emotional distress? Migraines? Social trauma? The judge? Not impressed. We played the footage. We showed the maps. We read every email. The case was dismissed so hard the gavel cracked. Becca was fined, sanctioned, and banned from serving on any HOA board in the county for 5 years. And I built a toll booth. Just a simple post with a sign, a QR code, and a solar-powered gate. $5 a month per house. Barely enough to cover coffee. But symbolically, a masterpiece. Guess who blocked it with a U-Haul the next morning? Yeah, Becca. Deputy James came back. This time, he didn't hesitate. Arrested her for obstruction. The video of her screaming as she was carted off became an instant meme. Caption: "She blocked the road. Forgot who owned it." After that, peace returned. The board replaced her. I hosted a neighborhood cookout called Road Day. Kids played chalk hopscotch on the same pavement she once tried to claim. Neighbors brought brownies. Someone even handed my lawyer a shirt that said, "Don't mess with the easement." And me? I stood by my porch, sipping coffee as the sunset hit my driveway. No fences, no citations, no drama. Just the smooth hum of tires on gravel. So, what do you think? Was I petty, or just protecting what was mine? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm genuinely curious how you'd have handled it.